Good evening. We welcome you here to West Valley City's council meeting. We'll call our meeting to order. We note that we have 6 members of the council present. Councilman Corey Rushton is excused from our meeting tonight. We'll begin our meeting with an opening ceremony. We turn to Councilman Tom Hume.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to invite all of you to stand up and do a pledge allegiance with me, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have some special recognitions. I note that we have some scouts in the audience tonight, and I believe you were briefed, and so do you have someone who will come up and represent your troop? Give us your troop name, what you're here, what you're doing here, what you're working on, and then what schools you attend, where you're from. Young man, no leaders, no adult leaders, excuse me, the young men leaders.
So my troop is 628, and I'm working on my tenderfoot requirements. And I go to Farnworth Elementary. Well, I was, and then now I'm going to Valley.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Welcome. And there's at least one more.
Hi, I'm Besati, and we're working on our citizenship community, and we're from Granger and Hunter High School.
Very good. Thank you.
Our troop number is 1675.
1675. All right. Thank you very much. Did that cover all of you? Okay. Very good. Then with that, we'll turn to the council for the approval of the minutes of May 26th.
Mayor, I move for approval of our May 26th minutes.
We have a motion, a second?
Second.
We've got the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll place it for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes of May 26th, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. Let's see, we have now come to our public comment period. We have several people who have signed up to make comments. We note that you're welcome to come forward. The limit is 5 minutes per person. Your topic is not limited. If you would just come, and when you come up to the microphone, state your name and your address. And let's see, we'll begin with, it's Mackenzie Filimoyatu.
I actually got that spot on. So, I am Mackenzie Filimoyatu. My address is 5511 West, 4360 South, in West Valley. I am here to propose splash pads in West Valley City. My husband and my children moved here and bought a home last year. And something that I started to notice over the course of the last couple months is that West Valley does not have any free public splash pads like the majority of other cities do. So I wanted to propose and give you basically the benefits of having those, and something that I would definitely like to see through. One of the biggest things that got my mind out this year was with our current water conditions and our water conservation that we need to worry about. It would be a lot better for us to have one place where we could go, instead of having 100 or 1,000 homes running their sprinklers for their children in their front yard, have one place that would be in a city park, some sort of a public park, or multiple parks would be more desirable to be able to take their children. The benefits of those are they have things like recirculated water, They have timed water options. They don't have to constantly run. It can only be when people are there. It also does help with not needing to, run your sprinklers for your children. They don't need a lifeguard. They're safe because of that reason. We're already paying for the parks, so for them to place something like that inside of the parks, it would be a definite benefit and continue to add to the features of parks that we already have. We are one of the largest cities in Utah, and the fact that we don't have any is a little weird to me. The cost is very minimal to build and maintain, and they're very durable. They're something that lasts for long periods of time and take very minimal maintenance and very little, if any, staffing. One of the biggest things I've had right now is we have an obesity epidemic among children, and it's really interesting. I was talking to a couple of my friends who are educators, and them talking about children don't know how to play any longer. And with them, which I think is really interesting, but giving more options for places, public places for them to go play and play safely, and putting them in our parks that are already there would be a really good benefit. Community relations, being able to go, me as a mom, I would love to meet other moms, people who are in the same situation as me. We don't really get the options to really do that and go to a place where we know that our children could be and we could be in the same place and enjoy the benefits like a splash pad would be. It definitely makes West Valley a more desirable place to live. It's definitely something that a lot of people are moving to newer communities and the newly built communities, specifically for features like that are included already in their communities. I definitely think that that's something that our city, being an older city and a more established city, would definitely benefit from. And then I definitely look forward to seeing this move, seeing this considered, and it's something that I would like to definitely see through. I know it takes time, I know it takes budgeting and planning, but I definitely would like to contribute to that and hope that this is something we can get going for, next summer or as soon as possible. And I'll definitely be back. If you have any questions, you have my contact information. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we had a couple of others sign up, but I'm not sure that if that was what they wanted to do here. Miles Yeager?
I just thought we all were supposed to sign in.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put scouts on there.
Okay. And Brandon Hernandez?
I'm Brandon Hernandez. I live in 4074 Manway, and my number is 801 8490987. And so my topic is like for elementaries to have instruments, because last year I was in elementary and they didn't have like instruments, and so and I really wanted to play that year, and I couldn't and also teachers, because there's teachers and no one signed up, and so and also I didn't have enough some people don't have enough money to afford instruments, so if we put instruments in schools that they can use them, and so they can have the experience I had. I wanted, and that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that was all that we had that were signed up to make public comments. With that, we'll turn now, we'll close that portion. We'll turn to our city manager. Any comments tonight, Mr. Pyle?
No, sir, thanks, I'm good.
Okay, to the council, any comments? Councilman Vincent.
Mayor, just like to make a little comment about our parks and splash pads. I agree. I love the idea of splash pads. Our family regularly has a party up in Woods Cross where there's a really nice splash pad. But I do want to make mention that we do have a couple of water features in our city that are available for kids to play on. Just to the west here in the Fairborn Station Park, there's a water feature splash pad that it's not really the typical splash pad. It's a little river that the kids can play in. And so we do have that just west here of City Hall in Fairborn Station Park. Also, not winning one of our parks, but Valley Fair Mall does also have a splash pad that's available for the public.
Thank you very much. Councilman Bueller.
And to our scout who's brave enough to address this, I agree that music ought to be in the elementary schools. Unfortunately, that's out of our jurisdiction. That's a Granite School District issue need to be brought up there. We don't have any control over what really happens in the elementary schools and what programming they provide or don't provide. And I'd also like to say that I wonder, we go weeks without any scouts, and tonight on what might be the shortest meeting of the year, we have scouts here, so they must be figuring us out and knowing when to come so that they can be present at a short meeting instead of a long meeting. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Seeing no further comments, we'll now go to the business part of our meeting. We have two resolutions to deal with tonight. The first one, Resolution 15-91. This is to approve a real estate purchase agreement with Cuban Cigar Company. This is for a 2,200 square foot parcel at approximately 3,379 west and 2555 south. This was a property where we were deeded some land. They did not want to give us an easement, and now we own that land, and we're disposing of it because the city has no use for it. We've finished construction, at least on that portion, and so that's where we are. I think the city is not doing anything to make money. The land was given to us, and we're disposing of it for the sum of $100 so that we can be finished with that portion of the drain project, storm drain project. That's the resolution. That's something we discussed last week in our study meeting, so to the council then for comment or action.
Mayor, move for approval of Resolution A 1591.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We've got a second. Motion is before us. Any further discussion?
Do you have a buyer for the property?
Cuban Cigar Company.
Yes, we do. Normally, we don't have public input here, and just to preserve decorum, but for your information, the property is an odd shape. It's 2,200 square feet. It is not a large parcel. The city paid essentially nothing for it. It has no purpose, and it doesn't do us any good. We'd rather get it into a taxpayer property where we receive revenue off of the property taxes. Does that pretty well sum it up, Mr. Pyle?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then with that, we have the motion before us. Any further discussion? Seeing none. We have discussed this previously in our meeting last week, so if it seems like we hurried through it a little bit, this is fairly routine. All in favor of approving Resolution 15-91, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is approved. We now have resolution number 15-92. This is to approve a change order with Cowboy Contractors. This is on the construction of the 2600 South Ditch Piping Project. The interesting thing here is we got into the project, got it dug up, and found some unanticipated problems that have to require some additional work. It's going to take an additional $32,750 to resolve those problems, to make sure that we don't have to go back in there and fix them again. When they dug it up, they found some unknown connectors, as well as having to go and fill below where the current pipe is because of deterioration in the ground. And so that just costs some extra money. So this is not one that we discussed last week, but due to the urgency, since the project is underway, to get this resolved, we are putting it on our agenda. We did discuss it in our previous meeting this evening. We have a study meeting that begins at 4:30 and discussed it there. That is the issue before us, and so those funds come from our stormwater utility, so we do not have to do a budget opening. That's just part of the stormwater funds. With that then, to the council.
Mayor, I move for approval of Resolution 15-92.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We've got a second. Then with that, any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, we'll place it for vote. All in favor of approving Resolution 15-92 for change order on a contract with Cowboy Contractors, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. The resolution is approved. That concludes our business for the evening. It really was one of our shortest meetings of the year. If you want to see a longer one, you can come back next week or thereafter. We meet essentially every week except for the 5th Tuesday. Thank you all for coming. Then one final motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned.